she did it purposely because it's brilliant. Why wouldn't you? When people are hating on Cara, of like, she's so under the radar, she didn't deserve to win. I've seen a few things. Why would you play it any differently?
It was her strategy because all of a sudden you see this switch in her and it's just like, oh my God.
What I'm watching happen right now is something else that caused pain.
Yeah.
Is being brought to the surface. And I represent something that it's not me. I mean, maybe it is me to some degree, and it's also something else bigger. Yeah. And I can separate that enough to sit there through it, listen, had some tears, had some crying, but I didn't stoop to the same level. And I am proud of my ability to hold my own gracefully.
Welcome back to the Blonde Highlights podcast. We are here today with another special guest. She is Lauren Midwest. You may recognize her from the Netflix TV show Secret Millionaire. I am so excited to have you on here right now. My boys at home are like ecstatic. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good. The sun is out in North Dakota where I live now. The sun's shining. Things are turning green. Everyone's coming out of seasonal depression. It's great. Everyone's doing great.
Isn't that like the best feeling? Like halfway through the winter, I always have to up my Wellbutrin because the winters just keep going and going and going. And then finally I'm like, okay, I can like level out my dose now. This is awesome.
Vitamin D in replace of that. It's definitely like there's a little mania that happens. Like just people's energy just spikes, right? So watching that happen for everybody collectively is always a little funny, but no, everyone's doing better now. It gets through a long winter. You get it. Canadians get it.
We get it. It's like, it's too much. Kyle over here, she's been like chilling in the sunshine for a while now.
Yeah, I've been in LA for 15 years, but I grew up in the snow. I understand it. Not to the extreme that you guys have though.
Okay. Yeah. 15 years in LA. That's great.
Yeah.
Have you adjusted from Midwest to LA?
I think that I've adjusted, but there's some things that I gotta like stay true to, you know?
Yeah.
I still like, you know, we gotta say pop still. Do you guys say pop in Fargo?
Oh, we say pop.
Oh yeah. I gotta represent pop for sure.
We say pop. We say pop.
You do?
Yeah.
Canadians
it's pop.
say pop?
Yeah, it's pop.
Oh.
Good job.
Yes.
Good job. Yeah, I say soda occasionally. It's like if I'm feeling insecure because the people around me sometimes say soda, so I feel like peer pressured, and I've said it and it almost feels like a betrayal.
Yes, that's how I am with my mom. When I talk to her, I have to be really conscious of certain words because if I say soda or I say like dinner because she says supper, I feel really weird. Like I can hear the disappointment in her tone.
Yes.
I
totally agree.
We called it supper too. I love calling it a good supper.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like supper in my mind is like more casual day to day, like you're having supper, and then dinner is like fancier. But everyone has their own, every family has their own idea of supper versus dinner. Some people even call like the middle of the day meal supper or dinner. I'm like, I don't understand that whole thing because that was always lunch for us.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, same.
Yes. And Australians, they call what is our supper dinner tea.
Really?
Yes. So I lived in Australia for a while and they'd be like, oh, are you going to come around for tea? What are we having for tea? And I'd be like, finally, my friend was like, it's like our dinner time. Because I was like, why is everybody always like coming around for tea or like asking what we're having for tea?
Oh, wow. I would have thought it's like a snack at most. Like tea and like some cookies or crackers or something.
Right? A high tea moment.
That's what I always thought too. I didn't know that until she told me that yesterday.
Yeah.
This is brand new information. Okay, well, I want to have more meals, so I'll also add a tea.
Exactly.
To the mix.
So one thing we do here on the Blonde Highlights podcast is we like to go over like our highlights of the week and our lowlights. And so basically it's just a play on words. And our highlight is a time to, you know, give gratitude towards something or highlight something or just something positive in life. And the lowlight is, you know, petty grievance, something you want to complain about or just something that, you know, you want to like give a little gripe about.
Okay.
Okay. So what's your weekly highlight?
Oh, my highlight is the weather and that it's finally fully spring and things are not brown anymore. and that the garden is in, and that we're going to have a full veggie garden in just a few weeks. It'll be fantastic.
I love that. We love that. What's your low light?
Ooh, low light. Is it great that I don't really have an obvious one right now? It means I'm very, very fortunate. My low light must be, I think, just all of the managing of all the activities. But this I say with some caution, right? Because it's a lot of things going on right now, which can feel overwhelming. So like end of the year stuff for kids and dress up days and activities and sports are in full effect and all these things. So I say that, but then also I'm like, I wouldn't have it any other way. So it's not even really a low light. It's just, it's a lot to manage and I love it at the same time.
Totally get it. It's like that frenzy of all the summer sports coming out. Last week for us, we had a pajama day. We had bring your favorite toy day. So it's all the days are coming up for the end of school. Now the boys are starting volleyball. We just got the new competitive gymnastics schedule. Like it's a whole, it's everything. So I totally get it. And then like, as much as like, I'm like you, like, I love it. I'm like, okay, let's go here. We're doing this. It gives me a sense of like, especially when I'm like at home, I'm like, this is what I was made for. I love it. So I get it. What's your highlight?
My highlight this week is last night, me and Kris, we were hanging out and we discovered a box, and it was a box of like all of my old like freelance hair stuff. And so I was like forcing her to look through all of these magazines that I had published like a decade ago. And we just had so much fun. I mean, there was a little bit of dust.
No, there was so much dust on these books and I'm allergic to dust. So I was like, she's like, what's this? Like, what one do you think it was mine? Or what one do you think was my favorite? And I'm like, get this shit away. Like, I'm going to die tonight. Yes. But it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Finding old stuff like that is so fun though, because like the memories are so... like they're right there. As soon as you see stuff like that, it's like, oh, I remember that.
Yes, it's like core memories. It's like going through old yearbooks, you know?
And that's the fun thing. When someone's staying with you, it's so much fun to pull out like a photo album or pull out like the yearbook or something like that.
It's giving sleepover energy. I love it.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So it was a fun low light. And, you know, my low light is the thing is like Kris has just not been interested in going to the garden with me, and she's really held me back. And because of her forcing me to neglect my garden, my Canterbury Bell plants that were in my greenhouse, one of them died because of Kris.
Okay, so it's my fault.
It is because of you, Kris.
Killed it.
Yes.
I killed it with my mean spirit.
She did.
Listen. I didn't want to go yesterday. I was like, we were in the studio for 5 hours. Like, your garden can wait until the morning, but apparently not.
No, I just have to give Kris a hard time about it.
I'm never gonna live this down.
It was like 5 minutes and it was about to be dark, and I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, no, but it's my fault. It's always my fault. My highlight is at the gas station. I saw the funniest thing. We saw the funniest thing. We were pulling out of the gas station, and this guy is pulled up a little ahead of us, ahead of the tanks, and he has the whole nozzle. This guy drove off with the nozzle in his car, and then it was hanging from his tank. And I was like, we were like, oh my God, what is this? But then the best part is he had no shits to give. He literally took this nozzle, goes back to where like the gas is, drops it, and looks at Kyle and I, just like looking around like you didn't see anything, and just gets on his car and go. Like, that's the level of unbothered I need to be. Like,
wasn't rattled. It was just like,
No, if that was me, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I broke it. Like, am I gonna have to pay for this? Like, I'd be stressed out.
I literally think that's a criminal offense. But the wildest part is that we get back into the car at the gas station. Neither of us have had our coffee yet. And my car alarm goes off. So now it's beeping. This guy's getting mad at me because the car alarm's going off and giving us dirty looks. He's parked on top of where the gas tank lids are, and he's lighting up a cigarette. And I'm like, we got to get out of here.
Like, we're done.
We got to go. And then we go, and then we have to stop for the guy. pulling the tube out of the back of his car. Like,
no, we're like, we're done here. We're done here.
It was a sitcom. There was a sitcom moment.
Yes. I was like, we got to get out of this area. This is crazy.
My low light is lately I've just been having really uncool moments. Like, I'm not a cool person. That's fine. Like, we get it. But like my moments are just getting like uncooler and uncooler. So yesterday after our episodes, I realized that I had a whole bunch of lipstick on my teeth. That's all going to be aired. Okay. And I'm talking like 1, 2, 3, 4 across my teeth. But when I was at the airport last week, I was walking around and I saw somebody looking at my shoes, and I just got new shoes. Okay. So I was like, they like my shoes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I look down and I'm dragging toilet paper. And I was like, bitch, like, come on. Why?
Yeah, great.
Yes. Like, why can't I just be the it girl? You know?
Yeah, it's overrated, I think. I don't want to be.
No.
There's too much pressure on being the it girl.
Yeah, we can't. I don't know. Kyle is the it
No,
girl. And the
I'm
youngins love Kyle.
I forced her to watch a QVC thing this morning. I don't know if that's the it girl behavior.
I think it is, actually.
Is
I think
it?
it might be.
Yes.
That's pretty, like, it's vintage in a very, very cool way.
Yeah, that's the thing. There.
Tell her it's
There's
fine.
a QVC host that she's worried that I'm obsessed. But we've become friends. But
Can we drop her name?
Yes, Brandis. But I was
okay.
It was like Brandis Dress Out Loud was her line through QVC, and I was like wearing her clothing yesterday. But she's like from Eastern Kentucky, and I have like the Appalachian thing going on, so I like to see somebody with like that kind of accent in media, and I'm happy, I'm excited for her, and like her starting a line and doing all these things. But I have been a little like, I've been forcing her to watch it, and she's like, "Are you obsessed? Like, are you okay?"
I'm like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. She's great. She is great. She's growing on me.
Yeah.
So let's get into talking about the $1 Million Secret. Okay. So we have a range of questions that we kind of want to go through, because there's a lot about the game we want to talk about. There's some interesting questions that I know some of our listeners actually sent in some things that they kind of wanted to know about, sort of the behind the scenes of what happens on a reality show, and then life after a reality show. So my first question for you is, what was it like being a part of it? Like, walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah. So I was I would say it was like a average or less than average reality TV show watcher. I watched like The Challenge or like Real World growing up, like those sort of things interested me. But then in the middle of having kids and all that, I'm like, it's not top of mind. Once in a rare while it'd be on, something would be on. I wasn't a big like Bachelor person, but certain things like The Circle, I remember watching that, or certain things, Traitors, my kids like, so I would watch that. But I'm not like this avid fan that I know all the strategies and all these things. It's just not really my scope. So it wasn't ever on my mind to apply for anything, but in building a social media account that focuses on Midwest humor, Lauren Midwest on Instagram, then through that, it was gaining a following that then caught the attention of a casting agent who reached out to me saying that I should apply for this show. It was very vague. It was that there would be deceit, or that you would either be like figuring out people that were lying, or you would have to lie. And I was like, well, I'm good at figuring out liars. Like, I'm good at that. I don't know how well I could lie, but if it's about like picking up on deceit, I think I'd be really good at that. So I was like, well, I think I'll apply, and then at some point I'll probably just be filtered out. Like, it doesn't hurt to apply. So I did the application, which was pretty simple, straightforward, and then kind of thought nothing of it. I'm like, okay, I'm probably one in, hundreds of thousands. I don't know. Yeah. Lots of people that'll probably be forgotten about. But then I got just meeting after meeting after meeting, kept thinking the same thing, that like, I'm not going to get pushed along to the next round. Well, then I would be. And then I'm with producers, and then they're like, well, yeah, you're one of them. You're being flown to British Columbia and going to be on the show. It was crazy. So it was like this few months process. And then at the end there, I was so surprised. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like for real, I'll probably be an alternate. This is just my personality that I'm just like always thinking like, oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Like so cynical, like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I was really on the show. I'm not an alternate. I'm actually there. So when we get there, it's gorgeous. It's actually like exactly like what you're seeing on the show. It's beautiful and stunning. Yeah, sometimes it's like TV magic, right? Where you're like, oh, I bet they get the best angles of this place. But no, it was truly gorgeous. And I was just so in awe of just being there that it's all sort of a blur. But yeah, it was wild. And the things that went down on the show, I think that it was pretty accurate. Obviously, things have to be trimmed down, and you can't have every single thing of your day into an episode because there's just not enough time for it. But I think they did a fairly good job at representing people's personalities come across on the show, in my opinion, a lot like they did in person.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. In that realm, I'm sure there are questions.
Yes. Okay. So instantly, so like you said, I'm not huge on reality TV, but I ended up watching this because my boys were homesick for school. And we turned it on, and it seemed like a family-friendly show. And as soon as we saw you, and it was so funny because my youngest is like, she's going to get the money. And he's like, and he said, she's like, she's going to trick them. Like, she's going to be really good. And we felt like because you have like, just like a natural, seems like a bubbly personality. So when you got, I forget what word they use, not challenge, not mission. What is it? Your
secret agenda.
Yes, your secret agenda. To have to hug everybody. We were all like, she's got this in the bag. Like, you know, like, because you could give off that I'm a hugger vibe, like, you know, the blonde bubbly vibe.
Yeah.
So we were like, yes. And you kind of struggle because with the whole lying aspect of everything. How did that feel? Like, how was that for you?
Crappy. I hated that part. I mean, that's the game, right? Yeah. And that's what I signed up to do. So I didn't like the struggle, that feeling of I'm so authentic as much as I can be. Yeah. Maybe my top value in life is just being authentic and being honest and trying to show up as myself as fully as I can. It's the work I've been doing my whole adult life is like, can I be as authentic as I can be? And so it's all this therapy and all this work and all this stuff that I'm like, I want to be as honest as I can. And it's then unlearning that, right? And it's like, no, be deceitful. That's super uncomfortable for me because I've worked so hard to be honest and to get where I'm at with that. So I remember, especially in certain situations, being really in like a moral dilemma, because a situation, for example, where I walked in on a group of people crying about something emotional, that felt manipulative. I get that that's the game, but I'm like, hugging a group of people that are crying for my gain.
I know. Yeah.
Like, that sucks, because then especially after I learned what was happening and why they were crying, it's like people talking about a breakup, people talking about infertility, and I'm going in there and hugging them like, to win. And then I can justify later of like, well, I would have hugged them anyway. Yeah. I would have hugged anyway.
And I think that's the thing is that that's why I thought that secret agenda was so perfect for you, because when I was watching, I genuinely had the thought of like, anyone would have hugged those people anyway, so it's fine. It's fine.
Right. It's interesting though, Sam brought up, but Sam's still a buddy of mine, Cop Sam, and she brought up a good point that I hadn't really thought about consciously at the time. I didn't sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to tell them this. Long story short, spoiler alert, later on, I have the choice to share whether or not I want to disclose that I was the first millionaire after the money got moved. I chose to share it, not well thought out, very impulsively, guilty conscious word vomit. And I did, and it wasn't with a lot of tact, and it was just very impulsive. And she brought up, which I think she's right about now that I've really reflected on it. She said she thinks I shared the second agenda, which is the song lyrics one that I worked in a lot of song lyrics. She believed I didn't share the first one, the hugging agenda, because she didn't think that I would want to be seen as manipulative or like manipulating people's emotions that much, basically. And I'm summarizing, I'm kind of paraphrasing what she said. Yeah. And I didn't really think it through that much. But now that I'm going back to that moment in my head of why didn't I share the first one, that might have been it. I think I don't want people to see my behavior as like manipulating people's emotions for my advantage. That's probably true. So there's a lot of things you have to sacrifice in a game like that in order to be successful. And especially if you have a pretty good moral compass, which I like to think I do. I hope I do.
Yeah. Well, I think I totally like 100% get what you're saying. And I think that that's really valid, especially if you are just like a caring person in general. When you were dropping all the lyrics for your secret agenda, how did you get the timing so right? Because were there times that like, because you got it all filmed, you were able to swoop it in, and like, were there times that you had to redo it? Were there times where you're like, okay, this is so obvious?
The whole time I thought it was way too obvious. I knew I had to go for it. I knew I had to swing for the fences on it, because in my mind, I couldn't say no to an agenda. Like I wasn't ever going to be like, no, I'm not going to try. I'm going to try. And that's maybe the hustler, like A+ student in me, that I'm like, if I'm given a job, I want to do it well. So, and I knew it would make for great TV, right?
Yes.
Like, I want to give these people a good show.
Yes.
So I'm going to do it, and it's going to be obvious. And you know what? Swing for the fences. Worst thing I do is fail and they catch me. The odds are stacked against me anyway. I might as well try. And so I remember a couple of them were super easy. And then I remember getting to, I believe it might have even been the last one. And I had said something like Smooth Criminal and another one to one person. Okay. Said it to Cara. Cara remembers a lot. I knew she was very smart, way smarter than people were giving her credit for.
Yes.
And because, she's just, I'm doing air quotes if you're listening to the podcast and not seeing the video, just an In-N-Out burger cook. Like, no, she's very, very smart. Okay. So people are underestimating her, and they're seeing this pretty girl who, works at a fast food place and blah, 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 underestimating. So I knew she was very smart. So I knew after I said two to her, I'm like, she's totally on to me. Like, if I say one more, she's going to be like, got it. I don't even need to know the clue. I know it's Lauren. So then I moved, but that also looked a little suspicious because we were like mid-meal. But I moved down to Kris, and that's when I fit in Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And that one, I could not find a way to use it, but we were talking about advantages of this, whoever the millionaire is, they're having to do all these, risky behaviors or whatever. And I said, it's not just an advantage. Every rose has its thorn. Like, there comes a risk with that.
I remember seeing that, because I remember when you were sitting there and then you moved, and instantly I was like, why are you moving right now? I was like, stop. And then, but when you sat down and then you said it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, how did she do that? Like that, I could never pull that off. I'm just not clever enough to like, I wouldn't even know how to do it.
Highest IQ is like musical IQ, because I was a singer growing up. And so I would say that that's probably my greatest skill set, is I can remember lyrics. I can't remember really anything else. Don't throw numbers at me or I'm done. But yeah, music is a good one for me. So as soon as I saw that challenge, I'm like, I can do that.
This is in a bag.
I was telling her there was this scene from a movie, and I think it was called Super Troopers. And
yes, I remember that.
Yes, but do you remember when the cops go up to the car and they're like, they had to throw in meow?
Yes.
I was like, that's what that reminds me of. Because they're like, wait, did you just meow at me? No.
Yeah.
I remember watching Super Troopers with my high school boyfriend. Man, that brings me back.
Yes. Same. That was so popular.
What did you think about like the ending of the show?
Oh, I was happy. I was so happy. I think that truly I was at peace with however it ended. Like whoever ended up with the money was who was supposed to have the money, in my mind. Maybe that's a perspective that's really healthy for me just in life, is I truly do think like it plays out how it's supposed to. And I'm not going to ever be too hung up or have too much resentment or like coulda, woulda, shoulda. I just don't think that that's a healthy way to live life. So for me, seeing that it was, again, spoiler, change it if you haven't heard this yet, but seeing that it was Cara was just, it gave me peace. Like, she's so deserving. She's so smart. She's so beautiful. Like she's a star, and she's so kind in real life and on the show that I don't have a single negative thing to say about the girl. She's great.
Well, and plus too, she had her sick dad and everything. And I know that that was like a big factor that she would really appreciate the money if she won. I wondered, like, when you went into the game, did they tell you how exactly everything's going to play out, like the full structure? Like, did you know that changing, like you had the option to switch the boxes like that? Or did you just learn everything as you went along?
Literally everything was learned to all of us as it's presented in the show. There was nothing that I knew ahead of time. We didn't know what the game was until Peter said it on the stairs in that first episode. We didn't know, what our advantages would be until they were told to us. We didn't even know that first. I made it into all the trophy rooms when I was there, which was a huge surprise to me because I thought that the challenges were going to be my hardest thing, like the group challenge. I did not think I would be winning a lot of those, but I happened to win all of them while I was there, which was huge for me. I was like, whoa, look at me underestimating myself. So making it into the trophy room, I thought that all of us there would be hearing it, right? Whatever this clue was, whatever went down in there, I thought we'd all be there. The whole nominating someone thing, I was like thrown, right? I did not see that coming. So yes, everything that happened was happening in real time as you see it on the show.
Okay, yeah, because I remember watching it. It was the second last episode, and I was like, how are they going to close this one out? Like, how does this happen? So the way that they did it was actually really interesting. And the best part, and it kind of ties back to what you were saying a few minutes ago about Cara, is that she did kind of coast under the radar, but she was very much underestimated. And to see...
And she did that purposely.
Yes.
She did it purposely because it's brilliant. Why wouldn't you? When people are hating on Cara, of like, she's so under the radar, she didn't deserve to win. I've seen a few things. Why would you play it any differently?
It was her strategy, because all of a sudden you see this switch in her, and it's just like, oh my God. I honestly thought that it was like, when you read a book and then all of a sudden it gets to the plot twist and you're just so
100%.
taken back. That's the vibe that she was giving me, because all of a sudden, even at the end, how she thought, I need to trick him into thinking it is me, so he'll take my money and then I can go back in and just switch the box. Again, sorry, spoiler alert. But
her intuition, though, is like, I've never seen someone with such a strong intuition. She trusts herself. She trusts her gut. Good for her. If people think that that's not playing a good game, I don't know how to convince them otherwise. Because for me watching it, I was like, brilliant.
The first... the one part where Sam had to figure out who had the two sisters. And when she went around and she asked Cara, and she was like, oh, you have sisters. Like, how many sisters? Or however she said it. And instantly Cara was just like, one. I was like, okay. Yeah. Like when she explained that she lied, I was like, she is so good. She deserved it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like she played with even a lot of strategy.
Friend, like Corey and Sam were her closest friends there. And she was able to seamlessly lie about that. Like, just she knew her gut was like, this is a leading question. Like this, you're asking me this for a specific reason. So that ability to think on a dime like that, like I can't. If someone would have asked me how many sisters, I do have one sister, I'd have been like, one. Yeah. I now know going into a game like that, I say 2 or 3. Like, you gotta lie.
I'm the exact same. I would be like, I'm an open book. So if anybody asked me anything, I would be like, what strategy? Like, we're just having a good conversation.
Yeah. Her name is Paige. She's a 5th grade teacher. She's married to Clint. Like, I'm like, all this information. What else do you want to know?
Were there any moments that you like felt misunderstood, or any way that you felt like really proud of like how you were portrayed?
Yes. I think the hardest thing to watch back, which is obviously the same thing that I get a lot of online, it's 2 different things. One is disclosing I was the millionaire. I definitely think I can't ever blame editing. I think that the kitchen scene where I disclose that I'm the millionaire, it's definitely the hardest for me to watch, because it felt very different for me in the experience versus what I saw. And I can't blame editing for that. I can't blame anything but, lived experience versus watching it back. What I remember feeling in that moment is my closest friend, Se Young, had just gone home. Felt a ton of guilt because I thought she deserved to be there. I felt relieved because I knew it was moving. And it was kind of this like shaken up pop bottle, like just finally like, And I remember just being there and everyone's just, having this normal conversation. And I was like, nothing about this is normal. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna die if I have to keep this for another second. And so it felt like kind of this like exhale, right? And I went from feeling really, really, really bad and crying, but I hate crying. I hate crying openly in front of people, which is very Midwest of me. And so I tried to quickly like lighten the mood, right? And so in my experience of it versus watching it back, I'm like, okay, it wasn't that fast. It wasn't this like, oh, and ha, 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 ha. It wasn't like that, right? For time, they got to do that. But when people have been like, oh, she was manipulating because she went from crying to laughing. Well, I make people laugh and myself laugh in order to lighten the mood. It's such a coping skill. It didn't happen exactly in that timing in real life, but I totally get that criticism. Okay, I totally get it. I understand it wasn't done perfectly. I would do it so differently given a chance again, but I did it the way I did it. And I don't have a ton of regret about it because that's who I was in that moment. And that was what was authentic to me in the moment. The other hard thing I was proud of was watching back the dinner where I go home. I think a couple people come for me in a way that was a little unexpected. I think that some things I've seen online is like, well, it's because you were being cocky or arrogant or rubbing it in their faces, or maybe that was how they were feeling. That's definitely not my intention, but maybe that's how it was being received by them. Regardless, I think it was a little over the top. Yes. I think it was a little much for a game.
Yeah.
I think it got a little personal in ways I didn't expect. And I'm proud that I was able to not stoop to that sort of level.
Yeah.
And as much as I was hurt and as much as I was feeling confused, I was mostly confused. I was sitting there very taken aback and very like, what is going on? Like, this is not about this moment. What I'm watching happen right now is something else that caused pain.
Yeah.
Is being brought to the surface. And I represent something that it's not me. I mean, maybe it is me to some degree, and it's also something else bigger. Yeah. And I can separate that enough to sit there through it, listen, had some tears, had some crying, but I didn't stoop to the same level. And I am proud of my ability to hold my own gracefully.
It was very graceful.
Yeah. Thank you.
It was very graceful. And I feel like in a moment that was happening, for you to advocate for yourself with all eyes on you under that pressure, and even knowing that you're being filmed and whatever, I, as someone who is not always one to advocate for myself, like I'm kind of like, oh, or would maybe just take certain things. I think it was like, it was a very great moment for you, and you handled it with grace, and you handled it in a way where it was just like, that's how you handle a situation like that.
I hope so. I hope that can be an example to somebody who I don't consider myself confrontational whatsoever.
No,
I don't consider myself abrasive or I don't have the same sort of backbone, maybe even that some of the people at the table did. And what I do have is strength that is softer and a little bit more like, no, I know who I am. Like, you can say all these things. You can say it, doesn't mean it's true. You have the right to defend yourself or say what you want to say. I have a standard of respect that is required for me to respond.
Yep.
And all I'm going to say in response to that is, please do not mock me.
Yep.
Please do not mimic me. Say what you want to say. You don't have to do it like that. You don't have to do that. Say whatever you want to say. You can even have any criticism of my gameplay, of me even, but you don't need to do it in a way that is childish, because I'm not a child and I don't deserve to be treated like it.
And I do. I think that was like, we were talking about that, like this was something that we wanted to sort of touch on to see like maybe if you would be comfortable with it, but it was a very bold moment, and it's an actual pure demonstration of how I would even show my boys, like, this is how you actually stand up for yourself. It wasn't fighting back. It wasn't anything, but I'm happy that when you look back, that is a moment that you feel genuinely proud of, because it's a great representation. So if your kids are watching it and they see that, they're like, no, like, that's my mom. And she's right. Like, this is how we stand up for it. Like, it was, and if for all the people who do kind of let the punches come, you were taking one for you were showing us, like, you were like, this is how you do it. It's okay to stand up for yourself. So yeah, it was a great moment for you.
I remember choosing, like, do I say anything at all? Do I just sit here and not say anything, which was an option in my mind of like, I could just take it and not say anything. I think that the line needs to be drawn at, we don't mock.
Yeah.
And I know that there's been a defense of that, of like, I'm not mocking you, I'm mocking your energy. Been being described as like chaotic energy, or I'm reciprocating the same energy that you brought to the house. Kind of unfounded claims based on everyone else that I've spoken to. But regardless, that was a claim that was made. And to that, I say, I am not a child. I've also heard in some interviews that, it wasn't even it wasn't disrespectful, or I wasn't, coming for her kids. I wasn't coming for her husband. I was, I was giving the same energy that she brought to the house. Well, I think that everything else, all of that is kind of off the table anyway. Like, why is that even being brought up?
Why?
And I think another thing was like, I spoke to, I think what a quote that I heard was like, I spoke to her like a stern speaking to, like you do to a child. And that's where I keep coming back to, like, but we're not. We're adults. And it's really important that we show examples of how to have healthy communication, even if our voices get louder, even if we're disagreeing in a way that's passionate, which sometimes happens between even me and my husband. You can do that without stooping low enough to mock or mimic somebody. And that is where I want my kids to see the line of, that's behavior we don't participate in.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, and I can look back on that and say, we can have a difference of opinion without that.
Yes.
That's my life.
No, it was, again, a beautiful demonstration. So
Thanks.
I'm proud.
I appreciate it.
Yes. Yes.
No. Yeah. That's what we've done a couple episodes on, like, people pleasing. And it's so easy with people pleasing to hit a point and then to stoop to a level when you get so fed up with it. So to take the high road and to do that in such a respectful way is,
in a way that you're advocating for yourself.
Because especially.
Yeah. It's hard to do. It's hard to, because I do have I previously did have very people-pleasing tendencies, and I don't want people mad at me, and I want people to like me. Those are all very human things.
Yeah.
I think that what has changed in me, especially as watching back the entire show and just life experiences since the show, I think I've learned that it is okay to have people misunderstand me.
Yeah.
It's okay to be, feeling like not everybody likes or approves of necessarily every choice that I make, because as long as I feel proud of the way that I showed up, the way I spoke, the way that I represented myself, then there's always going to be people. No matter what you do, there's going to be somebody out there who doesn't like you. And I just have kind of made peace with that. And, the most likable people in the world have haters. So there's no point of trying to get every single person.
You can't win.
You can.
Yes.
And it's exhausting if you're trying
to have haters,
Yes.
What did you guys do in your downtime? Like, what was happening then?
It's bizarre because no interactions can happen when the cameras aren't rolling. So there was a lot of being put on ice, as it's called. So it's when the cameras aren't rolling, you're on ice, and you maybe are even in the same room as people, but you cannot be talking. And I'm a big, even like nonverbal communication person. So I'm like making eyes at people and stuff and be like, Lauren, knock it off. Like, you cannot be interacting. So there's a lot of reading books. I was painting a lot, drawing a lot, writing a lot. We had no TV, no phones.
Okay.
No interaction with the outside world. It was bizarre. So it was a lot of quiet activities, like Little House on the Prairie style. Like, there was like no technology.
But I feel like as a mom, especially a mom, you have 3, right? I feel like this would have kind of been like, okay, this is my time. No. Isn't Mother's Day like the whole time? Like, I feel like it would have been nice, but then at the same time, it must have been really challenging to leave them behind, especially if you can't communicate with them. Like, how did you sort of handle that?
That summarized it pretty well, actually, what you just said, where it was part of me was like, oh, this is great to a degree because I'm getting better rest. I'm not feeling the pressure of the mom that I am usually, which was nice for a little bit. And then it was very quickly replaced by really missing my kids and my husband. It was really hard. So when I see some scenes of me crying, whether it's in confessionals or in the kitchen or, you know, any of the times I was crying, which was way more on the show than I ever cry in real life. I'm actually very happy. I don't know why I was so sad. I was miserable on the show. No, I think I was really homesick. I was really, really worried about my kids because really the only thing I could be in contact with them about is if there was a major emergency, right? Like if there was a health thing or something going on I needed to know about, then the producers could be in touch with Robbie, my husband. But other than that, I mean, minor day-to-day stuff, they weren't going to be able to talk to me about. And I'm like, well, there are some things that feel big for me as a mom that I might not know about. And that was stressing me out and that was on my mind. So I think I was way quicker to tears and quicker to emotions than I ever was in real life because of that added low grade pressure all the time.
Especially when you're the one that's, you know, if you're carrying the mental load, like you said, like summer's coming up, we're getting into all the summer schedules. And then all of a sudden, like, it's like when I come out here for too long, I get almost antsy where I'm like, okay, like you miss that need
so
in that life. Right. So
yes, I was missing things at their school, or I was missing different, you know, a dance banquet, whatever it was. It was just things that I was like, I should be there. Like, why am I not there? So it was this guilt, right? Of this is such a cool opportunity. I am so glad I'm here and I'm really homesick. So I think that added pressure for the moms of the show, like for Sam. And I mean, all of us. Say Young's a mom and Lydia's are grown. But I think that when you have kids, it does it's an added layer of emotion and guilt and all these things that you're working with.
And I think it's important to be proud though that you did leave and you did go because sometimes I feel like, especially like I'm a stepmom, but we have the boys full time. So I carry that, load. I carry all of that. And you know, if I didn't listen to that, if I didn't still want to chase my dreams, if I still didn't want to do all the things, like a lot of women do step back and they're like, I can't leave. So I do understand and I respect that guilt. So there is a moment too that you should be proud where you were like, no, you know what? This is a great opportunity for me that I am going to take, because a lot of moms, we don't take the opportunities, you know, because it's like, I need to be home. So I think it's actually really inspiring that, you know, you were like, you know what? I'm doing this for me. So
yeah, you're right. It was an important step for me to be able to trust that I have a really good husband and a really good support of different parents that stepped in and grandparents that stepped in. And we're like, no, we can help. Like, we're happy to do that. And I wasn't able to share much about the show, which I'm so glad everything's out now that now I can talk about it. But you're not even supposed to tell, you know, anyone besides the people you absolutely have to. So as a person who doesn't like to keep secrets, that was really hard. So I'm glad everyone can see it now.
How has your life been since the show? Like, do you feel like your life has changed? Do you feel like there's been a big shift? Like, what is that looking like for you?
It depends on what I'm doing. I think when I'm around Fargo, which is where I'm based, Fargo, North Dakota it's always Fargo. Like, I feel like I've been here so long that I know a lot of people anyway. So it wasn't this huge thing for me when my Instagram account started to grow. For some people in a new town, let's say even if it was somewhere like Minneapolis, it's like, oh, you'd be recognized. You'd be like, oh, these people didn't know me before and now they know me. Well, a lot of people already knew me in Fargo because I've been here so long, right? So it's like, well, I don't know if they know me from that, or like, do they know me from a kid's sport, whatever. But after the show came out, it was a different shift of, okay, people know me from the show. And it's people who followed me on Instagram or maybe noticed me from social media. It was like this, like, oh, I love your stuff. Like, I follow you on Instagram. It was like this very approachable thing, which I love. Yeah. The show has been different because it's like a little bit of a fishbowl effect where it's like I'm being watched sometimes. Like if I'm somewhere like in Target or Costco or whatever, it's like I see like whispering and like looking towards me, but it's like, but we don't want to come say hi. It's very strange. It's a bizarre thing because I'm such a small town girl. I'm like, just come over. Like, you can just say hi. I don't care. I don't care. It's weirder that you're whispering about me. Like, just say hi.
Well, I think too, especially because it's like small town. It's like, you're the A-lister now. Like, you're the celebrity now. Like, the hometown hero now.
That. I'm having trouble accepting that. I'm like, I'm really lame, guys. If you talk to me, I'm like, really not that cool. And my kids definitely have different reactions. So my oldest is 11. And when she knew the show was coming out, she was stoked, right? Because 11 is like peak clout, right? It's like everything's about like status. Like, this is a cool thing. Yeah. So she thought it was very, very cool. And then my 8-year-old boy, my only boy, is just like, sweet. All right, cool. And he's like, onto the, like, doesn't really care. Like, mom's on Netflix. What does that even mean? I guess, like, whatever. And then my 5-year-old is like, you're on the TV. Like, just like, it's like the logistics of it. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I don't know that she fully remembers me being gone. We talked about it a lot, but now she's like, oh, it's like, wow, you're on Netflix just like these shows, just like, Bluey or whatever else. I don't know what's on there. But like these other shows. I don't think so. Netflix is going to be like, we don't have Bluey. That's a different streaming app. I'm sorry, Netflix. Different shows. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to see my face up there. That is bizarre. But it's been good. I think that being where I'm at, being in a place like Fargo, North Dakota, is a great place for this to happen for me because people around here never let you get too big of a head about it. Like, it's just like, and on to the next. Like, it's just, like, are you also being a good person or also still a good mom? Great. That's what we value. So I think it's very much the opposite of other, experiences on the show where it's like, whoa, this is, this huge shift. Really, it hasn't been for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to ask one more thing about like while you were filming. What was the hair and makeup like for that?
Oh, great question. Okay. So go ahead. What?
Oh, no. I'm like, I forgot. We really wanted to know this.
Me too. I want to talk about this too. So we had to bring all of our own clothes. So we brought our own outfits, everything, dresses, everything like that. I don't have a lot of dresses. I'm not a fancy girl.
Your fits were cute, though.
I had to order some. Thank you. I had to order some cheap things online. And then when we got there, they did have a wardrobe person that helped style things. Like if you needed I wore these like shawl type things to dinner, or if you needed earrings for something or yada, yada. So we had that. Paula, wonderful, and her team. And then we also had Rebecca would do our makeup for special things like the dinners, or maybe one day I was like, I truly don't know what to do with my eyeshadow or whatever. So she would help. It was kind of like filling in, right? It's just like a little bit here, a little bit there. It wasn't full every day. It was just making sure you looked camera ready. And then they would touch up, right? Okay. And then for dinners, we had a guy named Terry who I loved so much. Terry, I can't really find him to talk to him right now. And like, Terry, if you're listening, find me because I love you. And he was fabulous. He worked on Riverdale at one time. So he has like Hollywood credentials, but he was my favorite because for the dinners, day-to-day stuff we did ourselves. But for the dinners, if you wanted him to, he would work you into a schedule to do your hair. And with me, I just let him do whatever he wanted, really. It was like, I trust your judgment. So I remember him being like, well, you're kind of like, you're fun and you're kind of quirky and you're kind of whimsical. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. And he did this whole like the side one where it was kind of cascading down.
Yes.
Fantastic. I looked in the mirror. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I loved it so much that I'm like, I want my phone not to contact my family. I want to document this. Like, can someone please take my picture? It's so good.
It was so good. And I think it's just like, Kyle, I know we really wanted to like touch on the hair.
Yeah.
She's always great.
Yes.
Well, the hair was hairing so hard.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I do hair, and I've worked on a lot of shows and a lot of different things like that. So I'm always like, what is the situation like? Because every kind of thing has a different budget or different process for it.
Yeah. Did you love all the hair? There were so many looks.
Yeah, I thought that they really like tried a lot of different things. Like sometimes it can be a little like.
I thought they had fun with Sam's hair too.
Oh, Sam's got great hair. I mean, and obviously Sydney's got.
Oh my God. Okay.
So duh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason why I wanted to kind of ask even about the outfits, because I was like, does Sydney just like, remember the diamond dress? I was like, does she just have these outfits? Like, is she just dressed like this?
She sure does, yeah. There's a lot of ways that Sydney and I are very different people. I would say the diamond dress is where that is the most obvious, that like, I will not be caught in a diamond dress. Okay? It's not my personal style. But I am a huge fan of Sydney in a diamond dress. Like, she looks fantastic. Yeah. And honestly, every single woman on the show is so gorgeous that every dinner I would just look around and be like, wow, look at this.
Well, because
look at this team.
Because like when we're watching, I'm just like, okay, like, did they have someone in, or are they all skilled? Like, how does this work? Because you ladies looked banging every dinner. Like, you guys all had the cute little fits, even like through your day to day. It was nice to watch. It was
impressive. It was very impressive. And everyone had very different style, which I appreciated. It was like very different looks, a lot of body diversity, a lot of just, it was very different than a lot of shows where you see this like very cookie cutter cast member. And I really liked that at the time, I was heavier than I am now. But I liked that I was able to represent a body type that I personally didn't see a lot of on TV before. And I'm like, I love being able to be kind of like in a hot mode for these dinner where it's like, yes, it's not Sydney hot, right? It's a different hot. It's like mom going to dinner hot.
No, it was Lauren hot, which is like a whole element of hot. It's just as good as Sydney hot.
You know what? That has been maybe the most surprising thing is like, so I don't lead with sexy. Okay. It's like, it's not my best foot forward. Like, my husband thinks I'm sexy and that's what matters. Right. And me, I think I'm sexy, but like, it's not the thing that I'm like, hey world, this is what I'm putting out. Right. Yeah. I'm pretty covered up a lot of the time. I'm not very out there with my looks. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a comfort thing or if it was like raised so conservative. I don't know. Yeah. But I think that it, for me, was a step even like getting in those dresses, right? It's like, I don't show a lot of skin. So the fact that I've had these like DMs from all over the world of guys and ladies being like, you were the sexiest on the show. I'm like, what were you watching? Like, no offense to me, but I'm not. Like, I'm clearly objectively not, unless you're into like, I guess, showing less skin. Like, I was by far the most covered up. So maybe like mystery.
Listen, it's the less is more. Less is more.
Okay, all right. Obviously, they're into like thick thighs. Like, okay, I don't know what it is, but there was a shot of my butt in one trophy room where I'm like, okay, so butt guys are going to be in my DMs.
Oh, like, my little guy was like, it was like level 10 Giot, because they always make fun. They always talk about my Giot, and they were like, no, it was 1100 Giot.
For sure. Yeah, that's hilarious. No, there was a couple things where I thought, I'm like, oh boy, like, you never know how it's gonna show up on TV, and I'm like, I guess it was a nice angle.
Lauren, it was a great angle.
Oh my gosh, it's been opening my eyes. Okay, it was there all along. I just had to get more comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, everyone sees us differently than we see ourselves.
100%. Yeah. I'm like, they need to get their eyes checked. And my husband's like, you stop.
Yeah.
Stop, obviously.
No, you look good, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. It was definitely an eye opener for me to see some things. I'm like, whoa, like, not my best angle for certain things. But then there are other parts where I'm like, oh, I looked better than I thought. So it just being on that sort of show and having all those different cameras on you, you can't always have your best angle all the time. So it's good to see that I was represented at least, like, not always the best, and then sometimes it was better than I thought. It was,
yes.
It's so hard to see yourself like that. Like, I've because I do comedy as well, and I've had so many comedians tell me, like, if you don't watch yourself back and like kind of cringe a little, you're not doing it right. And I know actresses who won't watch themselves back. Like, they're like, I can't watch my own movies. Like, so
I can see why. I think there were times where I'm like, can we skip this part? Like, where it's hard because you're so self-critical of like, oh my gosh. And then my family's watching it. I'm like, oh, you're going to hate this one scene. And they're like, I didn't, right? It's like, you're fine. It's fine. But when it's yourself, it is really hard.
It is. Yeah. What advice would you offer someone else who was going on this show?
Yes, I just heard today it's renewed for season 2.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, you're hearing it first, everyone.
I know, exclusive. So that is exciting. I would say, I think my best advice is like lean into whatever is most authentic to you, because I think that if you're not, if you're trying to do too much, if you're trying to keep up with all your own lies, if you're going in with all this game plan, and maybe this is just my bias because this is how I did it, right? But I think that if you go in being as authentic as you can, while also keeping your intuition at 100, right? Just like be really on top of like, wait, why are they asking that? Like Cara, right? Of, lie when you have to, lie when your gut's telling you this is a time to lie, but don't go in with I don't think you should go in with a whole bunch of lies you're already trying to keep up with, like a different job or all the different things that people are doing. It's in my opinion, it's too much. I think that that's going to shoot you in the foot a little bit. So I would say just lean into whatever your strengths are, right? If you are somebody who is super intuitive, lean into that. If you are super deceptive, I guess, go for it. Knock yourself out, but lead with your strengths. And I think that I don't think this is too cocky. I think this is accurate. It's cocky to me if I'm like at all flexing. I think if I didn't have the million right away, I think I would have stayed quite a while. I don't think I would have won, but I think I could have made it pretty far. So I think that if I would have kept that strategy of like, I'm going to be authentic, if I wasn't the millionaire, I think it would have panned out for me.
So being online so much and then putting yourself out there that way and then putting yourself out there on a show like this, how have you handled any sort of like hate or criticism? Because it's always coming at some point. Yeah.
I think that has been, it's been a learning journey for sure. And there are definite times where it impacts me way worse than others. Yeah. If I'm in a mentally healthy place, I let it seriously roll off my back. Like, oh, wow, they need to get a hobby. You're like, clearly this person has a lot of time on their hands if they're spending that much time talking about me, things like that, right? Where it's a very healthy, like, whatever. But if I am doom scrolling and like seeking it out and wanting to read comments and like searching my name and $1 Million Secret, if I'm doing that behavior, I'm learning to check myself and like, why am I doing this? What is this about? Because obviously that means I need to drink some water and go to bed. Like it's not that deep. Like it's really, why am I seeking it out? So I think that the best response to it, that I've had the healthiest response, has been, wow, that says a lot about that commenter, not about the comment. It's saying a lot about the person that's writing it, and they do not know me. The people that know me don't talk like that about me. So it is what it is.
And I mean, like, that's just the thing, is that like, what kind of person is writing this? Like, what it says a lot about that person. I mean, we've dealt with so much online hate, and being like a plus size model and being in the industry for so many years, I'm like, I've dealt with so much. I had somebody say I wouldn't even hit her with my Mac truck because she would dent it, like things like that. And I'm thinking, you are on a brand's page right now under my photo commenting this. Like, why are you even here? Like, what are you like, if you have a Mac truck, why aren't you out working that Mac truck right now? Like, why are we here? Why?
And thanks for the engagement.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
Bad press is good press.
Right? You're talking about me.
Yes.
That's what I say. Because lately I had something kind of blow up on the internet a little bit, and I've been getting like in a very increased amount of hate coming my way. And like sometimes we'll sit around and we just start to like laugh about them, because we have to try to like not take it serious, and to just think about like the mindset that someone has to be in to get online to start to say mean things to someone they've never met. And
it's like, you should be seeking a therapist right now, hun.
Yes.
Not commenting on our stuff.
Yes.
You know?
100%. My husband and I, our favorite thing to say to each other is they weren't hugged enough as a kid. And so when someone comments something, he just goes, they weren't hugged enough as a kid. I'm like, that's healthy.
Yes.
That's
That's healthy.
A good response. Yeah. They were just a sad little kid who didn't get enough hugs. Like, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to run in before we wrap up to a speed round of Cute or Creepy. So we'll ask you, and if you like it, it's cute. If you don't like it, it's creepy.
Cornfields.
Cute.
Okay.
Soft girl summer.
Cute. Cutest.
Naming
all 50 states in under 1 minute.
Yeah.
But do you know anyone that could do that?
I can think of one. I messed it up though, guys. I tried to prove it and I messed it up. I forgot a state.
Oh. Do you want to redeem yourself?
Kind of. Can I try?
Redeem yourself, please.
Okay.
Please.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New York. No, I lost it. New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin.
Oh, mic drop.
Right?
Yes,
I did it.
you did it. You did it. I was watching the clock and you did it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And we're acting like we know that you said all those correct.
I know. I'm like, wait a second. I didn't even know.
The same one again. Guys, I'm sorry if I missed you again. I think it was like, I don't even remember which one. New Hampshire. If I missed you, New Hampshire, this is it. New Hampshire.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see what you did. Did you do it all alphabetical?
I did.
Okay.
It was
I
a
picked
song.
Yes.
And then you just get faster, 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 and take out all the other words.
Okay.
Was it the Animaniacs?
I don't even know which version it was, except that I learned it in 4th grade, and it was like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. You know
okay.
it.
I know it. Yes, I know that one. The Ohio Capitol building.
If I'm remembering correctly, cute. Cuter than most.
No, you put it in last place.
I put it last.
On
Creepy.
part. Yes, you put it last place on
Creepy.
part 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ohio. Okay, I am remembering, and I am going to stand by my choice and say creepy because I am, not great. But North Dakota's worse.
Is it?
It is.
Okay. Old neighbors complaining about messy yards or clean yards and claiming them to be a mess. Cute or creepy?
Oh, creepy.
So creepy.
Creepy. Get a hobby, guy. That is
Especially-
maybe my low light as well. Circling back to low light. Not great because he has something to say about a baseball bat and a football in my yard. Like, dude, get a hobby.
I think the creepiest part of this story is that he came up to a child and didn't he say like, do you live here? Or like, do
you live here? And he's like, no, I'm a neighbor. Well, tell them they need to clean up their yard.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
like, sir,
Read the room.
yeah. First of all, as soon as he says, no, I don't live here, walk away.
Yes. Go.
Yes. Little buddy didn't have anything to do with the mess, okay?
Yes.
Yes. Having your name in Cosmo and hating the photo they chose.
Creepy. Creepy. There's so many better photos, guys. Like any still shot from any scene on the show would have been better than the one they chose. But you know what? It turned out to be cute. It's fine. I'm embracing it. So it was creepy. I'm at a place now where I'm like, it's cute enough.
It's cute enough we're in Cosmo. Like, we can take it for that. You know what, though? I always find that so funny because, like, as a model, I'm always, like, on set getting my photos taken. And sometimes I see what comes out and I'm like, that's the one that, like, really? Like, I know I pulled off some cuter looks than that, but whatever.
Right, when you're thinking back, you're like, oh, there was one that I killed. Like, like I know it was. And they said, no, thanks. We're going to keep this.
We're going to keep this one.
Level. Yeah. Come on.
Caribou coffee.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
We'll see if anyone's around. I'm not gonna say quite creepy. Not my fave. Not my, It's between cute and creepy. It's cute. It's not other coffee. It's not my favorite.
Okay.
It's somewhere between. It's in between.
Okay.
But as a close enough to Minnesota girl, I shouldn't be saying that. It's kind of like blasphemy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was taking a risk there. When someone says caramel.
Oh, great. Not a fan.
Yes.
My daughter does, which is why I hesitated. But I'm going to say it louder. Jocelyn, stop saying caramel.
Caramel.
It's weird and a little like it's fancier than we are. Like, don't.
Yes.
We're down home people. We say caramel. Like normal.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Pop.
Pop is cute. The cutest. Yeah.
Pop is cute.
Okay.
Super cute.
Cornhole.
That's a tough one. In general, creepy, but it can be cute.
Okay.
Yes.
It can
Okay.
be cute. Depends on the setting. Depends on who's throwing.
Yes. Okay.
I'm gonna give cornhole a break, and I'm gonna say cute.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's cute. It's cute. It can be very.
It's cute. Cornhouse
It's cute.
cute.
Yes.
Yeah. It's cute.
I know some cuties that play cornhole. Like there's some cuties out there, but I would by and large creepy, but there's exceptions.
Okay. Frozen custard.
Okay, I'm gonna say creepy because I cannot indulge. I'm lactose intolerant. So
Me
creepy,
too. Okay, there we go. Creepy.
Yeah.
because it makes me hurt.
Yes.
Because that's what I was saying. I was telling her, like, do you guys have frozen custard in Canada?
No.
Oh.
We don't do frozen custard.
We do here in North Dakota, but I just can't eat it.
Yeah.
So anything I can't participate in, creepy.
Yes,
Yes.
no, creepy. Well, I think this sums us up, guys. I think that this is the end. This has been
guys are
so much fun.
Yes.
I'm so excited that I did this. And honestly, you just like I said, like you bumped my coolness to the boys. Like
We're buddies.
yes, like I'm respected completely differently. Like I need to tell you, for Sterling's birthday party, we did a Who's the Millionaire theme birthday party. Like,
oh, I
yes,
love that.
it was like we called it the Who's the Millionaire, so they kind of got the concept that they had to guess. But yeah, we did the whole theme. Like, you're a fan, we're fan favorites, or like we love you at home.
I love it. I love to hear that. That is so fun.
Yes.
I'm glad that I can give you some cred. I hope that they don't find out I'm really not that cool, but I'm glad that for now they're fooled.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We're going to share all of Lauren's handles. You got to check her out if you want to be inspired or have a good laugh. But thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye, guys.